Well, good evening, everyone. This is George from GettingMarketMoney.com with today's edition of Currency Corner. This is Wednesday, August the 11th. And holy moly, if you were expecting action today, boy, you got it. The markets gave us quite a bit to trade with, gave us some opportunity to make money. Hopefully we seize that opportunity because those kind of days don't come often. Although, I fear in this situation, they just might. So let's see what happened today. S&P 500 down over 2%. Just about every market in the North American, or just every index in the North American market rather, has dropped over 2%, even 3% on the NASDAQ. There's bloodshed everywhere, blood on the walls, ceiling, floors. It was an ugly day. It went from bad to progressively bad to worse to just outright ugly. What we're looking at here is the S&P 500 index, the chart. On this side, as you can see, it's dropped right to a support level at the 50 EMA at 109. If you look at some of the Currency Corner videos of the past, that's a level I mentioned to watch for. Now that it's there, this is very important to see the price action around this level for further indication whether we're going to go up or down from here. Now, this is acting as a support level, so at this point, we hope it holds. If it does, that means equity markets are still hopeful for a rally. However, this kind of gap to the downside is horrific. That is a very bearish movement, and it cannot be ignored. It is an indicator that's left its mark. If you see here, if you draw a support trend line, it's broken by any stretch of the imagination. There's no way to draw it where it isn't broken. Not to scare you guys all, I've been beating this to death, but it doesn't look good. Does not look good. There was a range formed at the top, and that range broke. Unfortunately, it broke to the downside, and doesn't get any uglier than that. So we have to look for tomorrow to find some support. Currencies today, the US dollar shot up. For those of you that have been trading long enough, you could point that and say, well, that's the classic risk on, risk off trade, and risk aversion was in full effect today. Everyone was running for the hills. They did not want to trust their money in equities, so they ran for a safe haven. Traditionally, that's the US dollar. Now, we'll get into the currency section in just 1 minute, but before we do that, let us have a look at the currency section. This stuff writes itself. And as I mentioned, if you were in for some action, here it is right there. And this looks like a scenario where it's ready, fire, aim. This just happened very reactionary. But it does show merit to what happens when support lines and levels are broken. We get a sharp sell-off. In this case, the euro dropped because it's correlated to risk. Those who favor risk will go into the euro. And when they do not favor risk, they pull out. And one of the places that they put their funds, it's a safe haven. One of many, that is, I should say, is the Japanese yen. The yen is seen as safe haven status. Whenever people run, whenever they're scared of the markets, they go to cash instruments. Japanese yen, flight to bonds. We see some of that in gold, into the US dollar. There are many sources, but we played the Euro Japanese yen because we were forecasting, and I personally was bearish of the equity markets, and today we see why that was. So thank you, markets, for making me look good. Thank you. I'll take a bow here. As we see, there was a sharp drop on the break of this level here. We just changed the color so you guys can see it a little more clearly. Mentioned here it could retrace up and go to the downside. That did not happen. We broke with a lot more momentum, so we kept the original position. We're up just under $1,800 here at the moment. Great trade, great day. We caught this one, and let's just show you how that happened. On the break of support, I always like to go short. I don't know where the market's going to be tomorrow. I don't pretend to. I'm not an economist. I don't have a background in economics, but I know that when support and resistance levels are broken, that sends a message. The message today was clear, shorted, it went down, and at this point I believe it's oversold. Do not, by any stretch of the imagination, think that this is a solicitation to sell or a recommendation to sell the euro. It is not. In fact, if you're in a trade now, I'm getting out. I do not advise you to do the same, because the lawyers say it's not a good idea to advise at all. So don't listen to me. Listen to the charts. The charts are saying get out. make a run for it. Tie up your shoelaces and go run. This is not a good place to be shorting. Take your profits. That being said, we look for this chart to pop back up. The euro versus Japanese yen pop back up to around the 38 level, 110. You may get a smaller pop up and then drop again to test this level and get a range established again. I don't know how investors are going to react in the future. I mean, I don't even think they know how they react in the future. Sometimes they contradict their own opinions, but that is a profit. I figured I'd take you live today and close that trade. So let's do that. Let me open up the platform. Yep, there's a sound, famous MetaTrader sound. So here's the platform. This is live, I remind you. Let's open up the trade. $1,829. I am going to close that ticket. And there we go. Let's end the trade. We just made $1,800. We locked it in. And today I'm going to cut the video short. I'm going on vacation, so have a great evening. Now that's a joke. I wish it was the case. It's not. Let's look to the next chart. Where did the Euro USD go here? Well, I can actually show you live. It's no problem. The Euro USD told a similar story for the day. Sharp drop. No matter how you slice it, this thing's ugly. One thing to notice though, it is at a support, or it's around the 200 EMA, so it's hovering around there, trying to find some sort of support. But I mean, you jump off a cliff without a parachute and see what support you get, pretty much the floor. That's kind of what's going on in the currency markets. So, thought I'd share with you the iShares MSCI Pacific Index, just to show you that on the other side of the world, the same story is relevant here. So what we see is a drop, but it is not as severe. It's not quite to the 50 EMA, so therefore it has more downside potential. Markets all over the world in equities are looking a little shaky. I don't know where they're going to go, but at this point I would say it's a neutral. I'm more biased towards the bearish side myself, but I could see the merits for a rally as well. Although at this point I'd say probably 60% to the short, 40 to the long side. So there you have it. Just wanted to show you what the picture's looking like in the Asian markets. Now if we switch over, this is the USO, United States Oil Fund. Here we see a drop right down to the 50 EMA. I expect it to have some form of support here around the 34.75 level and see it range from 36 or so. The reason I say 36 is because if you can see here, it currently has formed a beautiful support level to the downside and a lot of price action around. Just chart it here a little better. Oh, that's not better. It's getting worse. Right here, so 34 to 36. Quite a bit of price action in the past month or two, or three actually. It's going to bounce around there. Look for those bounces. A lot of short-term opportunity to make money in oil, day trading. Personally, I stay away from the oil myself, but again, if there's money in it, why not, right? Don't stay away from the money. Don't shy away. Line your pockets with it, and have yourself a good day. That's pretty much it for today. That's a wrap up. Some of the news tomorrow that we're expecting is unemployment claims. It's Thursday. That's what Thursdays do. They give us employment numbers. They're expected to be 465,000. There are hints coming out of Wall Street. The hush numbers 500 and greater. If that's the case, expect a massive sell-off again. Today's numbers were exactly as expected. The governments are running a deficit. If that surprises anyone, send me an email and let me know why. And I have about 2 years worth of news headlines to send you back. So it shouldn't surprise anyone. That's what I'm trying to get at here. And it seems like we're running to the 10-minute mark almost. So I'm going to have to cut it short. But we've pretty much said all we could say and that needs to be said. Have yourselves a great day tomorrow. Remember, equity market's going to be shaky. Careful out there. And get that market money. Have yourselves a great day. We'll touch base tomorrow.